Ooh boy. What's going on, guys? Frost here, and today we got a different type of video. We're gonna be talking about Black Ops 6. Now, I am on Xify. I might just play a couple games. I might end up just talking. There might be some uh music in the background, but I feel like I have to say this because this is the first time I think in a not really a long time, but I think this is just the first time period that I've ever seen Call of Duty get leaked to this highest degree. I'm talking to the point where there is new gameplay every single day on YouTube being put out. Like, you could just look up Black Ops 6 and could just get the gameplay off rip. They already have all the beta content, if not on top of that, like, with Mastercrafts and all that type of shit. But we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the leaks and just kind of the current state of Call of Duty for me, and I think respectively for a good amount of people that are on YouTube that are aware of Call of Duty's like kind of manipulative practices on the game itself, and also a kind of a reason why I just don't really play it on the channel like that as much. You only really see me do beta reviews and stuff like that on how I feel about the game and whether or not if it's a buy or not. I did buy Modern Warfare 3 with the sake of it being that it fixed a lot of Modern Warfare 2's issues. I wish I never bought Modern Warfare 2. But I mean, gaming is still, and look at that, we're kind of back to square one. Now, X Defiant doesn't really have a lot going on for it right now and kind of gets doses, but with the current like society and how they perceive content and stuff like that, we're in a TikTok, what I'm saying, like very short form content era where you kind of have to have a lot more content going in. So people are gonna see like updates for games and are gonna wonder when the next update comes in, and if there's players or not. If there's a lot of players playing the game, they'll think, oh, the game's alive, but if no one's talking about it, they'll think it's dead. When it's just like people kind of just enjoying the game. And that's kind of where XDefiant sits in. There is a community for XDefiant, a really big community for XDefiant. I can still find games really, really relatively quickly. Now, although I am playing on keyboard and mouse only lobbies and stuff like that, it will be pretty slow. It's not gonna be anything too much of the ordinary, and it won't be super ultra quick. But I mean, it's better matchmaking than Call of Duty in general. So, anyways, let's dive in. So, let's talk about the leaks. The whole game got leaked. Like I said, like everything, like from weapons to let's just say the whole beta got leaked. If anything close to the whole game. And honestly, it's not really that appealing to me. It just feels like a reskin of Modern Warfare 3 with just this Omni movement, which I did see gameplay of, and some really good gameplay of it, of people actually using it. And I do think that in its core, the Omni movement is looks really fun, looks really fluid, fun to use. But you gotta think about it. This is gonna be with really high, engagement, optimized matchmaking lobbies and stuff like that, and skill-based matchmaking. I don't really care too much about skill-based matchmaking. The biggest issue is just engagement optimized matchmaking. I want that to be the set in stone for this video because people don't really know what EOMM really does and kind of fucks around with you in the game itself. And for higher tier players, I would say I'm an above average player. Like, I can fit into the pool of like top tier players if I just lock in and just play, right? And I do have those moments where I just generally lock in and play. The biggest issue is that the game is going to try and to put you into a skill deviation that hinders a lot of shit, where it goes to whether or not if people are going to be using the meta, or should we tank your your connection with packet burst. I have top of the line Wi-Fi. I have like 10G Wi-Fi. I have the newest set of Wi-Fi. I think it is fiber. I'm like I said, my connection is really good. I almost never lag in any games. The only time I would generally lag in an actual game is if I get a notification on my phone saying that there is network interruptions in your area, and that would be understandably the reason why I lag it in those sort of situations, right? But if everything's good to go, my connection's fine. Everything's good. Like, no matter what I do, everything is fine. So that's number one. EOMM is going to run this game to the floor. They've already put it on the white papers already that they're completely sticking with SBMM, and they think that it makes Call of Duty what it is today, so it's not going anywhere. It might be adjusted, but just know the core foundation of engagement optimized matchmaking is going to still be there, if not be reworked and just moved on further. So it's just going to be a lot of manipulation, and I can already tell with Black Ops 6. And it's funny because I've been playing Call of Duty for nearly a decade and a half. I've been on that Big Red 2. Don't play with me. I've been on that shit. You know, Black Ops 2, Call of Duty 2, 3, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. I've been on every single Call of Duty. I've played every single Call of Duty except for Call of Duty 1, literally, and maybe a couple of other, you know, side spin-offs. I played Call of Duty Road to Victory on fucking PSP. Call of Duty is in my roots. Do I enjoy it as an FPS nowadays? Not really, because they play it the safe route. They don't take risks no more. They go the safe route where people are spending a lot more money because the game incorporates this and this. Whereas back then, games that used to take risks, such as Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, you know what I'm saying, were pleasantly rewarded because of their like deviation in gameplay. And that is the reason why some of those games kind of hold up to this day. I would say Advanced Warfare holds up to this day just because of its movement, its sheer movement, and it's just complete quick pace. You know, I think we can get a game of Liberty. I'm not trying to put no gameplay on Emporium, I'm not gonna lie to you. So I don't know for certain. Also for this video, it might be just completely raw. There's not gonna be no cuts. I want this to just be raw because I'm speaking for somebody that generally does love Call of Duty, but I just can't, you know, really condone it that much. So, and if you do like Call of Duty and if you like the gameplay, like I said, by all means, keep playing Call of Duty. No one's gonna stop you. No one's gonna sit there and say it. You know, you've already heard like people say Call of Duty's bad and blah blah blah. And in a lot of regards, it is. It just generally is. But the bottom line is there is Call of Duty in a lot of people. You know, whether it be kids, young adults, you know, and some of the elderly. You never really know. And that's the reason why I just think as of right now, Call of Duty with this yearly cycle is just kind of killing it. I've already called it a little bit before, whenever I was like kind of making videos on on Cold War, or at least the beta, or you know, at least the beta of like Cold War and stuff like that. And I just think in general, Call of Duty has kind of dug itself a grave where it can kind of go anywhere and crawl out. Like whether if people like slower gameplay, whether if people like faster gameplay, Call of Duty can do anything and still retain popularity. And honestly, I do think that that's kind of something that, you know, only Call of Duty could do, but it can only go for so long, if that makes sense. So all in all, Black Ops 6 does not look that appealing. The only thing that Black Ops 6 has going for that I generally do might think about spending money for is just the classic prestige system. Now, note that XDefiant is going to get a prestige system. Whether it be now or later, it's completely up to time to tell itself. But I think that in general, not Call of Duty, but XDefiant getting a prestige system definitely will make me feel a lot more in line whenever it comes to just the idea of just prestiging, because we haven't had prestiging in a while. Another thing that's coming out really soon is H2 mod. H2 mod. H2 mod is basically Modern Warfare remastered. Modern Warfare remastered, but Modern Warfare 2 remastered. So we're actually getting Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer in an actual mod. You just have to own Modern Warfare Remastered, and this is only on PC, so this doesn't go for consoles or anything like that. This is only strictly PC. So I want that to be specifically clear. So honestly, we are eating whenever it comes to that. So we don't really have to necessarily rely too much. Rely too much on just Call of Duty itself, like the mainstream Call of Duties or anything like that. Just mostly just the, just mostly just, kind of the side offs, which is why I play XDefiant, and I still technically do have Call of Duty installed, but man, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It was just packet bursts to everywhere. Notice how my connection is completely fine playing this game, and I could just load up a game of Call of Duty, and I would just get packet bursts. And I think that's just purely because of Delta ping and the servers going on. So like I said, all that's going to be contributing going straight into Black Ops 6, and I'm just not a fan. If they're not going to really fix that and a lot of those issues at hand, as well as with the anti-cheat, you know what I'm saying, then it's just not worth it in my opinion. I just don't want to be that person, but it really just isn't worth it. It's just not worth going through the, you know what I'm saying, the trouble and hassle because of the anti-cheat not really going to be updated. And already on top of that, like jailbroken PS4s are able to get inside of the game completely fine and play the fucking out or the beta versions of, like, you know, Call of Duty. And that really sets in really bad precedent whenever it comes to just Call of Duty in general. By the way, I just want to say this clearly. Leaks do not equal hype. Leaks just leaks are basically security, like, management just being, like, completely just thrown out the window. If you can't safely defend your game, right, of NDA laws, because some people can get inside your game due to your security of the game, you can only go as far as to tell how bad the how bad like cheating is going to be in the future going into Call of Duty. Like, that's just what is going to be, and that's sadly like the root case of everything and how Call of Duty is just gonna go. Call of Duty is a $70+ game ran on microtransactions, and the fact that they simply and they are a multi-billion-dollar company, you know, or a corporation, so to speak. If they simply cannot get the actual, like, the legitimate security they need to keep this game secure at all times when it goes through the leaking phase into, like, the beta phase, then that really just goes to show you that they pretty much kind of kept the leaks a little bit there, mostly to kind of build up hype, you know, against their competition. I would say XDefiant and a couple other games, you know, which makes sense in the long run, but it's just a really bad precedent if the whole thing goes through. And there's people out there saying, oh, the hype is through the roof. Dude, that's not hype at all if the whole game is getting leaked. That is people seeing from seething from anticipation, wondering what the new Call of Duty is supposed to entail, what it's supposed to be about, what it's supposed to have. That's simply what that means. It's not hype. It's not people anxiously waiting for the next COD. You know, and I seen somebody like, you know, like Modern Warzone, you know what I mean, or Doug Numbers on Warzone is what people call them, kind of say like it was just hype, and it's just like, that's not hype. That's not how you build hype. If anything, building hype on a game revolves, like, if I can't watch like a trailer that shows gameplay itself, right, pure raw gameplay itself, and be able to draw my conclusions from there if I can buy a game or not, then that's not hype at all. That's just anticipation, you know, and of just leakers and stuff like that. And this shit happens every year, and it's funny that I see the same siren song of people saying, oh, we're so back, you know, we're so back. It's like, nah, we're not back. We're back to where we started, with just a new movement system. And honestly, it's okay. It's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's just like, I just don't know how to feel about playing another, like, reskin, you know, Modern Warfare 3. Sure, to the majority of others that kind of want, you know, that Gulf War feeling, you know, I get it. It's just, I just can't do it anymore with how Call of Duty is. You know, it's skill-based matchmaking and everything that goes into set in stone, that goes into the into that whole game itself. I just can't do it, and it's the reason why I just have a lot more options. Like, speaking of options, I just got done playing, like, Delta Force, like, for the past, like, couple of days or so, and that game's fucking great. That game is going to be a free-to-play Battlefield successor. Like, not even a successor, but it's what Battlefield should have been, literally, and more. Like, there's so much going on that I don't even know how Battlefield themselves are going to fucking, you know, compete in the limelight of just their like, of, like, the scene of just large scale shooters. And I like large scale shooters. I just think they're really fun. You know, do I prefer them? Sometimes if done right, I really do prefer them, but most times, I mean, not really. I'm more of like a kind of like around the arcade-ish shooter. I'm a lot, you know, when it comes into you know, the FPS gaming scene. I can kind of play a lot of FPSs. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to me. Just make the game good. You know, balance could be there as well. You know, that's about it. Black Ops 6 as of right now just doesn't pique, and I would say doesn't really pique a lot of people's interest. Like, it's at that point where people just have to play it to confirm, and whether or not if this will be the last nail in the coffin. And it kind of sucks because this isn't really the same Treyarch, which is the exact reason why they're playing it safe. And it sucks that they are playing it safe, because Treyarch is known for taking risk. Treyarch is known for innovation, and it just kind of sucks for them to like to see. It kind of sucks for me to see that they're going this little safe and you know, anti-risk reward route that they're kind of used to, just to appease to a much more casual audience. And it's not a really bad casual audience, because it's gonna be fast paced. Let me just say this right now, that Black Ops 6 is going to be fast paced, period, without a question or a doubt. It will be fast paced, probably faster than Modern Warfare 3. My gripe is just that there's going to be doors, you know, and whether or not you see it as, oh, an extra, you know, gameplay opportunity where I can psych out my opponent. I don't think doors can lead to psyching out opponents that, like, as well. Maybe in Warzone, but in the game where it's a really quick time to kill, it's not really going to do you that much justice, you know, along that side. So, and then on top of that, just kind of just the same engine as well. And we're just getting basically the same kind of system of you know, the recent Modern Warfare games. And like I said, it's just to play it safe, so that way they can continue to spend money. And it kind of just goes to show you that probably future games are going to be like that for Call of Duty. It's just the reason why I just don't, you know, I don't put Call of Duty in my priorities no more like that whenever it comes to playing those games. I really do want Call of Duty to be good, and the only time Call of Duty can be good is if people kind of speak out a little bit about this. Excuse me. And kind of just refrain from the idea of just letting them kind of take advantage of things that normally they wouldn't, if that makes sense. And like I said, at the end of the day, people can say it's a video game, but mind you, this is your video game that you're playing, that you're putting time into, you know. And the last thing you need to feel is that a game is wasting your time. It's okay to take breaks, by the way, as well, from games, whether if you think they're dead or not. I'm just saying that just in retrospect, because people think that for a game to be forever and everlasting, that you have to play it 24/7, 365 days of the week, you know. And believe it or not, that's just gonna kill your anticipation, or just like kill your motivation to make content on a lot of, you know, games going down in the future and stuff like that. And just having much more options, you'll just kind of just be burnt out of the idea of just, I would say, making content and just coming, pause, what the fuck, and just, you know, being at your desk and being comfortable with making content or doing this or streaming or just enjoying a game for what it is, you know. I have no doubt that Black Ops 6 is going to get purchases. There are already people out there that have already pre-ordered the game before they seen what it looks like. They did it off the trailer alone. That's just something Call of Duty makes, you know, does this yearly round basis. It's just nothing new. I just want this video to just kind of shed light on people that are either cautious or just know about Call of Duty's antics, and whether or not if they're going to seal their deal or not. You know, me personally, like I said, if it's anything that is going to get me to buy Call of Duty, it is definitely that Classic Prestige system. I love Classic Prestige. It is the exact sole reason why I loved Call of Duty in the first place. In fact, that is probably why a lot of, you know, people that play Call of Duty way back in the day played Call of Duty in the first place, prestiging in Classic Prestige. I don't know, man. That does sound like it's winning you over, but it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. Not on my case. I'm a lot more, you know, alert now. Whether or not if I ever do, like I said, I'm not saying that Black Ops 6 is a game that you should just stay away from. It's a game that you should just not pre-order. And I do agree that you just shouldn't really pre-order the game or anything like that. I think you should just wait, you know, get some reviews out, see how it goes, and then after that, you know, judge your tale. You know, people are going to play it. There's just, you know, you're going to see content creators, you're going to see the same YouTubers, streamers play it year round. It's basically just another event just coming out. And mind you, Call of Duty doesn't last no more than a year, which sucks. And it's the reason why I just don't think I can buy the game. And I'm saying I don't think right now, because if I do enjoy it, I'm going to stick with it as much as I can until it's gone. But I'm not going to do that, you know, currently right now, as the current year that's coming up into, you know, going into Black Ops 6. I don't think I can do it, because I'm just thinking about how it went with Modern Warfare 3 and the honeymoon phase for Modern Warfare 3 was fun up until season, I would say 1, 2 going into it, and that's whenever the game started to it's kind of rear its ugly head. And Modern Warfare 3 does have a lot of good gameplay elements right now as it stands, but like I said, it's a game that doesn't last a year, just like how Black Ops 6 won't last at all. Last thing I'm gonna say is with the whole last gen aspect is jailbroken PS4s and I think Xbox Ones can play online, which like I said, jailbreaking on PS4 you can kind of get it to hack a game and shit like that. Like I said, the security is another reason why I just don't think I could play Call of Duty again. The anti-cheat sucks. There's a reason why people reverse boost, and you see people like what is it, fucking X Pro, what's the guy's name, Pro MVZ, something like that, constantly stream the game, and they're just constantly going against people, getting nukes against people that just don't know how to look left or right or shoot their gun at them. I don't know how people can kind of, play in reverse boosted or just or not even SBM lobbies, but VPN lobbies, stream it, think they're good, when in reality they're just living in an illusion that they're good, and they just won't try to get better for it and enjoy the game for what it is, whether or not the game be sweaty or not. Right? I would just rather just play the SBMM lobbies, back out whenever I want, and just lock back in again. And that's the reason why those content creators do that sort of thing, is obviously to create content. They don't want to see people, getting shit on. But funnily enough, there are people out there that kind of do want to see you get shit on. You see, seeing negatives in gameplay, people are going to be a lot more inclined into it. If people don't prefer that and be like, oh, you kind of suck and I'm not going to watch this content, then chances are they weren't really a fan of yours to begin with in general. Honest gameplay is good gameplay. That's kind of what it is whenever you're making content and stuff like that. So yeah, like reverse boosted lobbies, two boxing, all of those problems are going to carry forward into the next game. People have already hacked into just, and it's like I said, with people being able to get inside of Black Ops 6 as it is, they already got the engine ready. Like they already got it. So they can already build cheats. So you could just already tell how day one's gonna be from Square, from the actual outside Square. That's just how it's gonna be. Anyways, I think I said a lot. I think I said a much. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching this video. I know the attention rate too as well is really, really low whenever it comes to YouTube, and I don't really plan on dragging like these videos out to be this far just for somebody to just completely watch my whole video, agree with me, and maybe say something, and just say something, in the comments, or just leave a like in general. We are just in a really bad era when it comes to just the attention span, that people would rather short form than long form and long informational form, because people just think either it's Yapatron season or anything like that, whenever it's just actual good, advice, that you could just learn from. Short form, you can't learn from it, because guess what? It's short form. It doesn't last that long. So, and you're already on to the next thing. Long form, you take in all the information and you process it, and then you move forward. Anyways, I think that's all I'm gonna say for this video. I know it's been a minute since I've made a video. It's been about 2 weeks. Y'all know how this goes. I'm a little busy with life. I enjoy things, as they go with this channel. And yeah, I'll try to get some more content flowing, especially whenever XDefiant kind of picks up a little bit of the pace. I know Daytona came out, and like I said, I like Daytona. I do play from time to time, but it's not something that it's just like, oh, you could do this at Daytona. Let me make a video on this at Daytona. Like I said, none out of the ordinary when it comes to it. I'll probably end up having a little bit more content go out as patches come out, as well as maybe the new mode bomb comes out, and which hopefully should be really, really soon. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and as always, peace.